Welcome in to this Monday edition, Blue Sky Live, here with you today. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford Studio this morning. We'll talk a lot of basketball today, but it's a good weekend all across Ole Miss Athletics. They had a perfect weekend among the different winter and spring sports that are participating. Jackson Dart had a nice NFL combine. There were also some other superlatives from Ole Miss players in the combine as well. So we'll get to as much of that today that we can. We'll get to the rest tomorrow with you, as we do every single Monday and every single day, brought to you by Blue Sky locations throughout Mississippi, up and down I-55, North Mississippi, the epicenter down in Macomb, Sweet Daddy's locations. You know about those lunch specials, everything from spaghetti to chicken spaghetti to jambalaya, catfish on Fridays. A lot of options for you there with Blue Sky and Sweet Daddies. And again, coming to you from the Clark Ford Studio.
We are Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900's the number. Call it. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. It's right to the bottom line. No haggle, no hassle. You get your quote. The rest is completely up to you. You can shop that quote around. You can do what I've done, what I recommend that you do, and that's hop into a Clark Ford today, 662-257-1900. Don't forget at rebelgrove.com. It's a pinned post. If you're a subscriber, there's the first deal of the week, vehicle that Corey needs to move off the lot. So check that out. It's pinned at rebelgrove.com. Guest will join on the Campbell Clinic hotline. From fractures and sports injuries to complex spine and limb conditions, the pediatric orthopedic physicians at Campbell Clinic in Oxford are the only specialized pediatric orthopedic team in North Mississippi, providing expert care for growing bodies. Visit campbellclinicoxford.com to schedule an appointment or call 901-759-3111.
Yeah, it doesn't happen too often in any school, but just a little recap of that. The weekend for Ole Miss. Ole Miss softball, they won 13 or 14 in a row now. They win 14-0, 1-0, 12-4. The 1-0 was a no-hitter over the weekend against Murray State. I think they're 17-3 on the season now at this point. Ole Miss men's basketball, which we'll talk about at length today. They survive Oklahoma at the Pavilion on Saturday, 87-84. Ole Miss men's tennis, 4-3 over LSU to pick up its first SEC win of the season, 4-0 over North Alabama on the same day there on Friday or Saturday, whenever that happened. Ole Miss baseball sweeps Wright State. Ole Miss track tied for third at the SEC indoors. That's the best finish in program history for the Ole Miss track team. Ole Miss women's tennis 4-0 against Kentucky, and then Ole Miss women's basketball, the largest or the best regular season win in a long time for that program, 85-77 at LSU yesterday to cap that. So that is the weekend that was.
It was the first 4 minutes of women's basketball I have watched this season, and that was really interesting to watch the LSU crowd. There was
What'd they do?
Well, it was just interesting to watch the LSU crowd. It made me wish that I had watched a lot more LSU women's basketball games over the course of the year.
Okay.
The wardrobes were very interesting.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Fascinating.
Okay. How was Kim doing? She okay?
She was dressed.
What circus outfit did she have on yesterday?
She had on an all-white kind of a ensemble. She was quite upset near the end, but I was fascinated. I'm just gonna say I'm guessing that crowd's a different crowd than the one that they get for baseball, men's basketball, or anything else. Anything else.
That is an LSU women's basketball crowd. That is what you're saying.
Crowd
yes.
is what I was saying.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
It was quite interesting. I really regretted that because I'd watched. I had the house basically to myself over the weekend. Well, the boys were here, but I hardly saw them. Laura was on her way back, and I was doing some stuff, and I watched. I went for a run, and I got back and watched the second half of Memphis UAB.
Okay.
And then
Memphis pulled that out, 87-81, I believe. Was
Memphis
the final.
Memphis played really well in the second half. UAB was anyway. I flipped over because I saw what was going on. I flipped over, and I was immediately regretted that I had not watched more of that because just the crowd shots alone were priceless.
We will look at little bracketology for that coming up.
I mean, this one guy, he had no business wearing this outfit, but he seemed quite confident in it.
All right.
It was like full on leopard print ensemble,
really?
like tracksuit,
Not tiger. Leopard.
tigery, leopardy cat. He was a cat,
Okay.
decked out, top to bottom, wild. I was like, man, the amount of confidence that it requires.
You do not have that level of confidence.
It's confidence / I don't care / look at me. No.
All together, all combined. That's a weird combination too. Look at me and F it and confidence.
Yeah.
That's a weird triumvirate.
There's a lot there.
I did not know.
He didn't care what you thought, I'm guessing, of his outfit. Because the way that he was there, that was not the first time he had worn an ensemble of that type.
He didn't pull it out of the closet for the first time yesterday morning.
I'm going to guess not. I can't tell you emphatically that no, he did not.
Okay.
Because it's possible that was the first time. And there was a certain Mardi Gras look to it all.
Maybe he'd been at a parade that morning.
It's conceivable. Is today Mardi Gras?
Well, I mean, this week, yeah. Tomorrow's Fat Tuesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday is
so today's
Ash
big
Wednesday.
party day.
Yeah, a lot over the weekend and then today. Yeah.
So yeah, it's conceivable that he had come from a party dressed as a jungle cat and gone to the basketball game dressed as a jungle cat.
Maybe so. I don't think I mentioned this on the show last week because this came up. Somebody mentioned it in the baseball press box a couple weeks ago that back in the day, LSU's women's basketball team, they were the Bengals. Did you know that? We need to bring that back. It's BEN-GALS.
I think I knew that.
For the women's basketball team.
I think I knew that.
Creative. It's good. It's fantastic. I didn't know this. I saw it this morning. Ryan Brown tweeted it, and I would never have thought the spread on this number would be as high as it is. It's disgusting, obviously, in the state of Alabama. Auburn and Alabama both trying to get 1 seeds in the NCAA tournament. And since 1985, when the tournament expanded into the modern era, the 1 seed has won the tournament. A 1 seed has won the tournament, any of the 4 ones, 64% of the time. The 2 seeds have only won 12% of the time.
Oh, how about that?
So while I don't think there's much of a difference in a 1 and a 2, that is a huge difference as far as, and now again, best teams, I understand there's more to it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that is a way larger spread than I ever would have anticipated for those 2 things. So.
Well, you'd rather be a 1 than a 2 because that means that your team is less flawed. I mean, it's really that simple.
Well, it's true.
Like, I don't think Alabama can be a 1, and I don't think they should be a 1. Auburn's a 1.
Yes.
I think Florida's a 1. Well, I'm sure we'll get into that later.
Tomorrow will be our big bracketology day because they'll come out. Not everybody has their brackets out today for the men. So
I'm pretty high on the Gators. Tomorrow. I watched them on Saturday night. And
they had a day on Saturday.
I sort of.
We'll get into the games in a bit.
I think I sort of know what I saw.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I had someone tell me Florida could lose in the second round. I'm like, okay.
I mean, it can, sure, but somebody better bring your lunch that day.
You better have some skilled bigs.
Yeah, that matchup's not great for the Rebels on Saturday. That is not the personnel matchup you're wanting. If Ole Miss is going to get to 10-8, need to get to Wednesday. Saturday does not feel. Saturday feels problematic from a matchup standpoint.
Yes,
we can say that. I think that's between friends, something we can go to there. But Ole Miss did get to 9-9 at least. They will have at least a 500 record. They are currently 9-7 after an 87-84 win over the Oklahoma Sooners. On Saturday, they overcame the white kid for Oklahoma going off on Saturday. What's his name?
Oh God. He's a freshman. He's a good player. He made some big shots.
Forsyth. Dayton Forsyth.
Yeah.
That's his name. He had 25 points. He averaged 3 points a game coming into the evening.
He knocked down some shots.
Oh.
You talk about confidence.
He had a trigger at one point.
He got confident. I bet he tore up a high school league somewhere.
When he got going. Dale, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
He's from Dale, Oklahoma. 6'2" freshman. You think he went all Jimmy Chitwood on somebody last year?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
He was good. I mean, he made some shots.
So Ole Miss did a pretty good job of shutting down a couple of their main scores, but then he went off.
I went all. I
Duke
was
Miles was really good in the second
Miles
half.
was good. I thought Fears was good in the second half.
Yeah.
The first half I was like, I don't see it. Like, because Fears gets a lot of first round talk NBA. And I was like, I don't see it. In the second half, I was like, oh, now I see why all these NBA guys are here. There's like 4 NBA guys there Saturday. And at first I was like, you guys ought to leave. You're wasting your time. And then I was like, oh, okay. I kind of get it. He's got handle and he's strong. Fears. Like he was able to absorb a lot of contact in the air. He did a lot of I could see it. Like I wouldn't. There are guys I would take along before him, but I get it.
So Ole Miss found a way, 87-84 to again get to 9-7, get the 20th win of the season. Padula with the shot of the season to this point,
No
the three that if it doesn't go, it's night probably at that point for the game.
Night. They were in trouble.
They survived it. It's the only really word I got, but they figured it out. You missed 3 or 4 free throws at one point down the stretch.
It was a lot there.
It was leaking. There was a
lot there. There were people that were doing the whole. I was getting kind of bombarded with text of this is A&M again, and I was like, well, I mean, and my thought, frankly, at that point was, well, if it is, that's just who you are. You know, at some point, you just kind of are what you are, and then they made a play. Had to have a bucket right there.
And got a bucket.
And got a bucket. Padula made a really good play. They got Oklahoma to switch. Padula wanted to drive. I can't think of the kid's name. It was their 4. He was a white kid. 10, I think, was his number, or 40 was his number.
Godwin
kind of cut him off. And at that point, I think he said, all right, well, I'm better off on the outside. And he kind of created a little room for himself and took a shot with a lot of confidence and knocked it in. And that was a big shot. Look, they were in the tournament anyway.
Yeah.
But this silenced the stuff.
They needed that badly.
Oh, they needed to win.
In a lot of ways.
They needed to win.
Like I said, I think you were running the risk of a play-in if you don't win that basketball game down road.
Yeah, and you were just kind of running the risk of no confidence, no swagger, no nothing going into Nashville, going into.
Said you're at least 500. You've got a decent to good chance of avoiding opening night. It's not a guarantee, but you've got a shot. We'll go through that in a minute.
And it officially doesn't matter.
That's true. Yeah, you're just in.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think they can get anywhere below the 8-9 game.
I agree.
I think 8 is probably the worst seed they can have if they lose the next 3 basketball games in a row.
And I know people do the seed thing, and they
6 to 8 feels where they
you know,
are.
we need to be. I'm like, look, in the tournament, at some point, and we'll talk about this a lot because we'll get to cover the tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, I wrote this. I've been on the beat. I'm 12 days shy of 17 years.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time since I've been on the beat
that it's been just comfortable.
That going into the last week of the season that they're in. Not comfortable, in.
Yeah.
They've never been in going into the last week.
It's the first time for the program since 2002.
Yeah. I mean, I tell people.
If you want to, I guess you could argue that Kermit's team was in, but we did not realize that at the time, even though they ended up with an 8 seed.
They beat Missouri on that last day, and had they not, I don't know, man. That was going to be a bad loss.
Because that was a bad Missouri team.
Yeah. So I don't know that I buy that completely. Yeah. Maybe.
Did they win any in Nashville or Atlanta, wherever that was?
No.
Did they go over up there?
They got beat by Alabama.
Did they? Okay.
And then went to the tournament and got smoked by Oklahoma.
That's right.
Just blown out.
Yeah, I do recall that. I remember that.
And after that game, Blake Henson said, "We're building something." Turns out they were not, and Blake was not part of it either.
But Blake had a good career.
He did.
He went on and had a pretty good career.
Had a pretty good career.
He did. Wasn't then.
You look back on some of the stuff you wrote, there's like, that was a waste of time. And that was a waste of time.
But one of those things we're going to talk about, it's a success, period. No matter what.
Yes.
Season is a success from this point. Stamp it, positive, check it, and move it on. No matter what.
Period. You said before the year.
Make the tournament.
Well, they made the tournament. So you don't move the goalpost now.
No.
And I keep seeing people trying to do that because they're insisting, and I'm not participating in it. So I'll tell you now, I'm not doing it. The whole baseball, basketball debate thing is maddening to me. I don't understand it, but like, whatever, do your thing. And they use that as like a way to do the crowd was this, the crowd was that, the crowd was whatever it was. I'm not going to be the guy that shames crowds. It's your Saturday, it's your money, it's your time. As far as I know, everybody there was there voluntarily.
If you want to go to baseball, basketball, knitting, or swimming, I don't care.
It's your life. It's your money. Do what you want to do. Cool. I'm not doing that. But the goal was to make the tournament.
And you made
They made the tournament. It's a success. It's a success if they go to Providence and get smoked by 31 in the first round. It's a success if they go to the Sweet 16. It's a success if they lose in the second round. You made the tournament. Period.
Yeah, and you get one of the more fun things that exist in college basketball fandom, which is go to the conference tournament just to be there and have fun and see what the hell happens for a couple days.
Yeah.
No stress. You're one of the teams that's just in. Now, most of the league is too, but still, you're in that group. Georgia'd love to be where you are right now.
Did you see Lenardi's thing yesterday? He still has 13 in. I'm like, dude, what? But okay.
Because Arkansas Saturday. Good God.
Just couldn't make a shot. Had good looks. Just
down by like 27 in the first half or something.
Yeah. I mean,
just boom.
I don't know if you saw any of it. I was sitting in the pavilion because I got there early because I've gotten where I get there early and work on 10 Thoughts, which is, I'm always so glad that I did it on Sunday. But I turned that game on my YouTube TV for a minute. And it wasn't like they were playing bad. They just missed. Had open looks, just missed them all. Shot like 3% at one point. Just missed. Happens. And I turned to some Auburn and Kentucky, and I don't know what I think about the Cats, but I know what I think about Auburn.
Kentucky is the most schizophrenic team in the world. If they get healthy at point guard, they can go make a run and beat 2 or 3 teams and kind of throw one out there, and then they could lose to damn near anybody.
Yeah.
Damn near anybody.
Yeah.
St. Peter's, take your pick. And yet,
I mean, look, there's a clear delineation of who in the league has a real good chance and who in the league would need a miracle. And Ole Miss is in the miracle phase.
Oh, of course.
You know, of course. And I mean, the teams that are, I mean, you know, like you talk about Arkansas, what you could tell Saturday was they were on the road without their best player. This is hard. Carolina's decent. They're not terrible. They win games. They play hard, especially at home.
Triple saying Jackson Robinson is out for the year for Kentucky. He's the backup point guard.
Yeah.
So you've got Lamont Butler's the one that's got to either be healthy or not healthy for them.
But for Ole Miss, again, I mean, the going into the season, if you had told someone you're going to win 20 regular season games, you're going to win 9 SEC games, and you're going to go to the tournament, I would guess more than 90% of fans would have signed up for that. And that's what you got. And so in a world where they go 0 for this week against 2 teams that are going to be seeded 2 and 1 in the NCAA tournament, I won't participate in the changing of the goalpost. Saturday's a horrific matchup, and it's Florida.
Yeah, guys,
it's senior night. They're really, really good.
It's the second worst game you could have in the league outside of at Auburn that day.
Yeah,
and matchup wise, might be the worst game you could play on that day.
Yeah,
because you actually match up better with Auburn than Florida if you just had to pick one.
Frankly, yes,
from an athleticism movement standpoint.
Yeah. So, you know, Tennessee's interesting Wednesday night. Tennessee just had an emotional game.
They did.
It's on the road. Their tickets kind of punch. I think Tennessee's
gettable.
I think Tennessee's a 2 kind of no matter what now.
Yeah. That one's gettable. Now you got to play your ass off.
You got to play really, really well.
And you got to be way better with the basketball. You got to be late January good with the basketball. That they haven't been at about a month now.
Yeah.
They've regressed from the protection standpoint with the basketball.
A little bit. Yep.
And that's what's biting them. That and just not playing well in winning time. I mean, because they didn't play well in that period Saturday. They just won.
For 39 minutes and 30 seconds, I thought Alabama had beaten Tennessee.
Yeah.
And then Alabama just kind of fell apart.
Bama doesn't look quite right.
They look a little weird,
They look a little weird.
but they're good. They're
They're
I
damn
don't,
good, but just they're not what you kind of think you see at times. That's all. Let's get into some of those Saturday scores after the break. But first, I'll tell you about Citizens Bank, not just an account number, but a valued member of the community. Now, if you're finding yourself in the market for a mortgage, another reason to give them a try at Whit Wilson and BB Know in the mortgage space is now at the Citizens Bank. We're ready to help you with your real estate goals. Stop by and visit 902 Sisk Avenue, Suite E. Discuss your options with him or any of their experienced bankers who value your unique financial journey. And while you're in there, ask about School Spirit debit cards. They donate an amount per every transaction to the local school of your choice, whether it's Oxford, Lafayette, or Regents. That's the Citizens Bank, PHILA.com.
Brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. Different names, same great people, products, and services. Getting a little bit of a false spring right now. We'll probably have one more cold snap coming, and then after that, it's going to start to warm up. You want to make sure your AC is ready to go for when it gets hot. So get in touch with the people at Comer and Southern. If you live in Oxford, Batesville, Tupelo, or those areas, call Comer 662-801-1777. If you live in the Memphis area, North Mississippi, Hernando, that area, call our friends at Southern, 662-429-4429. We're brought to you by Window Hero. From window cleaning to pressure washing, gutter cleaning, gutter guards, and everything in between, Window Hero has the experience, equipment, and expertise necessary to make your property look and feel brand new. If you're in North Mississippi, let Window Hero make your home or business's exterior look amazing. Their experts are fully bonded and insured. They provide specialized equipment, exclusive cleaning solutions, a satisfaction guarantee, and they can clean up to 4 stories on all buildings. 662-510-7077 or windowhero.com. My 10 weekend thoughts are up at rebelgrove.com. They're brought to you by Andrew Seago with Seago Wealth Management. Are you already retired? Are you retiring soon? How long should you wait to take Social Security? What accounts should you pull from first? Should you consider Roth conversions? These are just some of the questions that can only be answered with the personalized retirement income plan. So get in touch with Andrew Seago, Seago Wealth Management in Collierville or on Zoom. It's rebelsretire.com. It's gift season a little bit. We got birthdays, graduations coming up, anniversaries. You got lots of wedding dates from the spring, that kind of thing. So if you're in the gift giving mode, get in touch with our friends at Arnett's Fine Jewelry. It's a 4th generation jeweler located in the old Lamons Jewelry Building on North Lamar Avenue in Oxford. They offer expert jewelry repair, diamond engagement rings, wedding bands, stackable diamonds, basically anything in jewelry that you're looking for. They've got it. They want to be your jeweler. And we're brought to you by Argent Wealth, formerly Pinnacle Wealth. Argent, based in Ridgeland, Mississippi. They have clients in more than 20 states. They provide detailed, specialized investment management, financial planning, retirement planning for individuals and businesses, and much, much more. At Argent, investing is treated like a commodity. Decisions are made using objective information and research, not emotions. So regardless of your level of wealth, Argent will sit down with you, listen to your goals, study your expenses, and put forth a comprehensive, detailed financial and retirement plan built just for you. It's myargentwealth.com.
So Ole Miss sitting number 28 in the net as of this morning. They are 5-9 against quad ones, meaning all of their losses are quad one at this point for the Rebels. Ken Palm, I think, giving them a 37% chance of winning on Wednesday against Tennessee, something like that. And then it was whatever it was on Saturday, 12-14. I don't know, down below 20%.
I like the Gators.
Yeah, I do too. Like I said, it's not the best spot for the Rebels, but it's cool. They don't need it.
No, you don't need it.
Yeah, you just go.
Just go play. Don't get hurt.
You spoke of Auburn for a minute. They wrecked Kentucky at Rupp on Saturday, 94-78. They clinched the SEC title. They are 15-1 in the SEC, in this SEC, leading into the final week of the year. I mean, the tournament, anything can happen, but holy hell.
They're tenacious. They
win a lot of different ways.
They can do a lot of different things.
They're really good.
They're very well coached. They play with an edge. They like to get in your head, and they're a historically good regular season team.
Yeah. Kentucky now 8-8 in the league, but they have great wins. They'll be highly seeded. They are 19-10 overall after the 94-78 loss to the Tigers.
They're probably staring at a 4.
Yeah. I don't think they can fall much. I don't think they can get out of the 5 line, even with the record being what it is. And we'll look at their finish in a minute.
Yeah.
But, Florida, as you mentioned, they go to 12-4 in the SEC because they beat A&M 89-70 in Gainesville on Saturday.
Did you watch it?
No.
I did.
Not a second.
I watched the whole thing. Wow.
A&M 9-7. They're tied with Ole Miss right now in the standings.
It was 4 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
They're a pretty good team. Tells you how good the league is.
Yeah.
Right there. To me, that stat, I wrote this in 10 thoughts. To me, that stat tells you everything about
that
the league.
A&M's 9-7.
That a team with Buzz Williams coaching and Wade Taylor the fourth has lost 4 in a row.
Because there are years where A&M would be like 14-4 in this league.
Yeah, most years.
Yeah. You be talking SEC title stuff.
Most years.
Maybe
I mean, and look, we can do this with everybody. A&M's really close to having a couple more losses. Really close.
Well, Oxford.
Yeah, Ole Miss, Arkansas. I mean, they've had some games where they were very fortunate.
Tennessee hits that big shot late, wins 79-76 over Alabama on Saturday. The Vols, Ole Miss's next opponent, they are 11-5 in the SEC. Bama 12-4. Both those teams in good shape for double byes in Nashville next week. So 23-6 for Bama, 24-5 for Tennessee. Good game, hell of a game in Knoxville.
Great game.
Just
the end of it was Rick Barnes trying to call timeout.
Mm-hmm.
He said that, I don't know if you saw this, he said that he normally will tell an official beforehand, hey, I'm going to be calling timeout. And he did not tell the official that. And it was so loud that even though he was screaming timeout,
they couldn't hear him.
Yeah, or it was too late. I heard him on the replay. You could hear Barnes yelling timeout. But you're asking officials a lot at that point. 3 seconds. You got 20-something thousand people screaming. You're following the ball, and someone's yelling timeout, and you're trying to determine is that
Rick or that's somebody else?
I'm sorry, but that's a lot to ask of a human being. And they didn't call it, and dude just knocks a shot down from 40 feet.
Uh-huh.
Crazy. Tennessee's broadcast, by the way, their broadcast call was excellent.
Oh, was it?
Really, really good. Yeah.
I think and this also shows you the league. I think my number 3 coach of the year in the league is Mark Byington. What he did on Saturday, 97-93, beating Missouri, getting to 8-8 now in the league for the Commodores. It's an impressive game from Vanderbilt. They had to kind of withstand early. Missouri had put on a little bit of an onslaught in the first 10 minutes. Missouri was up 9 at the break. They fought back, scored 52 points in the second half. Vanderbilt did, and then outscored them 16-12 in OT to win 97-93 there in that one. So Vanderbilt's in good shape.
Magical home season.
They have.
Yep.
Just one of those years. State did not play well, but beat LSU in Starkville on Saturday. Hubbard did have a good game, goes for 30. Cam Carter goes for 23 for LSU. There in that one. State now 8-8. LSU 3-13 on the season. We mentioned it briefly. South Carolina 72-53 over Arkansas Saturday in Columbia. Arkansas 6-10 in the SEC. Carolina 2-14, but they have won 2 of their last 3. So there's that.
They haven't quit. There's a lot of credit to
Murray Boyles goes for 35-7 on Saturday.
Yeah. Well, again,
Arkansas was shorthanded.
This is where Arkansas's deal. Like this week, do they get Adu back? I don't know. I haven't heard anything one way or the other. I would assume that he's out the way that he wasn't with them, but because he's first round pick, probably not going to risk a knee.
Somebody asking about Hubbard's line. Oh, it was fine. It wasn't ridiculous. He went 9 of 18 from the field, 2 of 9 from 3, and 10 of 11 from the stripe. So not one I'm gonna get him on. And they needed him. It is what it is.
Yeah.
We mentioned Ole Miss, Oklahoma, plenty, and then the Georgia Bulldogs. One hell of a week for Mike White and his boys. They get the big win in the midweek against Florida, and then they consolidate it with a win over Texas in Austin on Saturday, 83-67. Georgia now at 6-10. So they're getting there.
Need one more.
7-11's probably enough.
Might not need one more.
Lenardi had them out before the Texas game, so we'll see what he does now. I think they're in.
Didn't he update yesterday?
I did not see it. If he did, maybe he did. If so, I have not seen it.
I don't know.
He was 3 days ago on the stories on ESPN.com. That's where I went this morning to kind of look. Texas at 5-11's in deep crap. I think they just don't.
I wouldn't want to be Rodney Terry right now.
No.
Unless the buyout's good, at which point you get paid to not work. Cool.
Bubble watch. We'll look at that quickly from the SEC. Speaking of those teams, what they have right now, they are expecting 11.4 bids for the SEC per the analytics. Again, this is strictly analytics, not reputational.
I was going to say, I'm going to guess they do not get 11.4.
Unlikely.
That would be an odd.
If I set the over-under at 12, where are you going?
I'm going under.
Okay.
If there's a way for the committee to leave them out, they're going to leave them out.
You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 just analytical locks, no matter what. That goes through Ole Miss now, obviously. I think Vanderbilt's a lock at 8 and 8. They're in.
Absolutely.
They're in.
Yes. And Vanderbilt's going to beat Arkansas at home on Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever that is. That's going to give them 9. They're absolutely in.
They have Georgia at 60% in right now.
Who's Georgia have left on the schedule? They just got to win one. I think they go to South Carolina. Or they get
go to Carolina on Tuesday.
Okay.
That is correct.
So they have a home game Saturday.
And they have a home game against Vanderbilt on Saturday.
Yeah, they're going to get in.
They'll get one more, and they'll get in. At least one more. I mean, they still, analytically, Oklahoma's still at 42.
Who is?
Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah. I actually kind of felt bad for Porter Moser. I mean, he talked about it. They've just lost. They've lost that game several times this year.
They have a home game against Missouri in the midweek.
Yeah, it's tough.
Better get that one.
Then they go to Texas.
Do they?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Saturday.
And then Arkansas, 34% right now.
Yeah.
It feels out.
I think they'd have to win out. They'd have to go to Vanderbilt and win, and then I think they finish. I forgot who they play at Mississippi State.
Texas's analytical percentage is down to 17%.
Yeah. Man, you got Trey Johnson on that team, and you still blow it.
They've dropped 6 of 7 and 7 of 9. Net's around 40, so comparable to other bubbles. But they're 3 and 11 against the top 50 BPI.
Jerry Palm did an update. I knew someone had.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find Palms. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
The Big Ten's supposed to get 9.5 bids analytically.
All right, Jerry Palm with, this is as of yesterday at 11:04 a.m.
Okay.
Jerry Palm's play-in games, Xavier and Baylor, Arkansas and Boise State playing for an 11, Southeast Missouri State and Quinnipiac playing for a 16, Southern University out of Baton Rouge, and Bucknell playing for a 16.
Okay.
He's got Auburn as the 1 seed in the South. He's got Ole Miss as the 6 seed in the South in Providence playing Virginia Commonwealth. The winner of that game would get the winner of St. John's and Towson. My money would be on St. John's in that game.
Okay.
Other SEC teams, he's got Tennessee as the 1 in the West.
Oh.
Playing Nebraska, Omaha, in Lexington. He's got Mississippi State as the 5 in the West, playing Drake.
5.
Yep, got him as 5. Got Texas A&M as a 3 in the West, playing Utah Valley. He's got Duke as the 1 in the East. He's got Kentucky as the 5 in the East, playing McNeese State. I'd watch that. By the way, watch for Will Wade at Florida State.
Ooh.
Just tell you.
Okay.
Watch for Will Wade at Florida State and maybe moving quickly. You got Oklahoma as the 11 in the East, playing Kansas.
11.
He's got him as the 11. He's got Georgia as the 10 in the East, playing Maryland. He's got Alabama as the 2 in the East, playing South Alabama. Again, Chase, I see you over there shaking your head, and I'm not telling you you're wrong, but 68 teams have to play in the tournament.
I know.
You don't get to go, well, you know what? There aren't 68 good teams, so F it.
Yeah.
He's got Houston as the 1 in the Midwest, playing Bryant. If Houston beat Bryant, they would play the winner of the Vanderbilt-Gonzaga game. Vandy as the 8 in the West. He's got Missouri as the 4 in the West, playing Lipscomb in Seattle. He's got Memphis as the 6 in the West, by the way. And then he's got Florida as the 2 in the West, playing whoever CCSU is.
Central Connecticut State.
Ah, yes, Central Connecticut State. And if the Gators won that, and I would like their chances against them, they would play the winner of UCLA and West Virginia in a second-round game. So he's got 13 SEC teams in. Yep.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm look. I hope they all get in. You get rewarded for what you did. Okay, I got no problems. It's weird seeing a 4-11 line and going, yeah, they're in. I'm going, what in the hell?
Again, I said this last week. I'll say it again. What's interesting with the SEC is that because of the metrics, nobody has bad losses, and they dominated the non-league. Everybody did.
Yeah, it wasn't like one of these teams had a crappy non-con. You go, okay, whatever.
Well, like, for example, I'm looking for Michigan.
Why are you looking for Michigan?
Because where's Michigan? There they are. There's Michigan's a 3.
Yep.
Arkansas beat them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oklahoma's got wins.
Arkansas beat Kentucky.
But I'm talking about just non-league. Yeah. The SEC dominated the non-league.
Georgia has a win over St. John's.
Yeah, Georgia's got a win over St. John's, who's a 3 seed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Ole Miss has a win over Louisville, and Louisville is a 7.
Yeah. 4 SEC teams have wins over Louisville.
Yeah.
They have 6 losses total and 4 SEC teams.
4 in the SEC. I mean, South Carolina beat Clemson, and Clemson's a 5.
Are they really?
Yeah. Mississippi State's got big wins. Someone in the SEC beat Michigan State, right? I can't remember.
They did, but I don't remember who it was.
I mean, Missouri's got a win over Kansas. Kansas is a 6. Who'd Oklahoma beat in the non-league that was good?
Several. They had a couple.
At some point, those wins count. And when all of your losses are quad 1, quad 2 losses, you don't have big, giant, oozing warts on your resume. And again, you have to put 68 teams in the tournament. Because the answer is, well, there aren't 68 good teams. Well, no shit. But you have to put 68 teams in the tournament. And so at some point, you've got to start using a metric to figure out which mediocre teams you put in the tournament. And typically that metric is net.
Oklahoma's non-league. Arizona win, Louisville win, Georgia Tech win, Oklahoma State win, Michigan win.
I mean, there's a lot there.
Yeah, that's what it is. Ole Miss cannot fall below the 10 in the SEC basketball standings for the tournament. So the worst case scenario is 10 for them.
Okay.
They cannot get. I guess technically they have a double bye possibility still. It would require Tennessee losing out and them beating Florida and Tennessee. I'm doing the math. Okay, that's it. There would still be that chance. They cannot catch Alabama, Florida, or Auburn at this point. Missouri is 1 up on them. They are tied with A&M. So to avoid a first night game, the first 9 seeds play on the first night. The back 9 seeds play on the first night. They have to stay above. They are currently the 7 seed.
Okay.
So they have to stay above 2 of the following: Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, and Kentucky. Okay. They have the tiebreaker against Kentucky because they beat them. So in a 2-way tie, again, right. I'm not doing the thing. So they have to equal Kentucky's final week from a standing standpoint. Actually, no, they can lose 1 more than Kentucky and still be fine against Kentucky. Okay. They have to equal State and Vanderbilt because they have neither tiebreaker against the Wildcats or the Bulldogs.
Got Arkansas at home and then at
I said it a second
Georgia.
ago. I think it's at Georgia.
Yeah.
Here I'll look real quick what State has. State is at Arkansas on Saturday to close.
Yep.
And they play Tuesday against Texas at home. So they're probably getting that one to tie you on Tuesday.
Yeah, probably.
It's shaky for Ole Miss.
So you think they're headed for a 9 or a 10 and playing on Wednesday?
They would in that instance. I mean, they need to beat Tennessee. I think they are definitely a 9 or a 10 if they don't beat Tennessee.
Hold on, because I can do the Neal McCready's luck on this. Because your boy on the SEC basketball tournament, no matter who I cover.
So you're telling me you can predict it right now?
I'll just go ahead and tell you right now.
All right. You're going to look at the first round games.
I'm looking at times, too. Times are very important.
Okay.
Show me the bracket. Dang it. There you go. Thank you. All right. Game 1. Okay. Ole Miss will not be the 9.
Because when is the 9?
The 9 plays at noon on Wednesday. That ain't happening.
No chance.
Not a chance in hell.
Okay. So they are not going to play the winner of Carolina, or sorry, they play South Carolina. They're not going to play South Carolina.
That game's not happening
on Wednesday night.
That game is not happening.
Okay.
So they can't fall to the 11.
Nope.
So Ole Miss will be either the 10 or the 7.
All right. One of those two games.
That's a 6:00 game on Wednesday.
All right.
They're not going to be the 12 or the 13 or the 5 because that's too damn convenient.
So they're off on Wednesday, or they play the 6th game.
Yes.
Okay.
So go ahead and make your plans now.
You don't need to get to Nashville by noon on Wednesday.
Nope. Not a chance.
Neal says there's no chance he has a beer in his hand by 4:30 on Wednesday afternoon.
Nope.
Okay.
No chance.
You're doing that version of the baseball tournament when you go, hey, they could play that 10:30 a.m. game. And you go, no way.
Oh, look, Ole Miss fans should put a GoFundMe together to send me to Hoover. Because every time I go, they win.
They do.
I've covered the SEC tournament 3 different times when Ole Miss won the whole thing.
The only 2 times.
Including once in Mobile.
The only 2 times I have covered the SEC baseball tournament, or I have not, you have gone and they've won both times.
Yeah, I mean, but like basketball,
yeah,
I can't tell you how many times I've covered the 8:45 game. PM, not AM.
Yeah.
Because I'd sign up for AM.
Uh-huh. So you can most likely you're talking 7 to 10 here, probably 8, 9, 10. That's kind of where you are, barring something, because the teams you play don't have really difficult weeks.
Because the 8 gets the winner of 16 and 9 at noon on Thursday.
Oh, that's like manna from heaven.
So
the 8 is like the gold game. I
have no chance.
You get a day off and a noon game.
And then, no offense, Friday, if you win Thursday, Friday, everything's pre-written because you're getting the hell out of there pretty quick. Because it's, there's Auburn. See ya. Heading home. In the car by 3:30.
Go ahead and write the column and said, y'all had a hell of a week.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations, guys.
See
Enjoy.
you Sunday.
Yeah. Get the popcorn and the Coke out and be ready for the selection show.
Oh, literally. You wouldn't even have to write much.
Yeah.
The column would be pre-written.
Uh-huh.
You'd write a quick little Janai Broom for 25 and 13.
Yeah.
Ole Miss really
Rebels didn't have a lot of legs left. Blah, blah,
yeah,
blah, blah,
blah, blah, blah. They can't guard bigs. Yeah. Next. That's easy. So that won't happen. That's out. I'd never get easy SEC tournament ever.
Catfish Kitchen in Hoover. Board, not Catfish Cabin. It's Kitchen. Catfish Kitchen is the culinary favorite of the Mississippi State beat in Hoover.
Well, that would be a place I would probably not ever go.
Catfish Kitchen or whatever it is.
But
Junction.
But
I don't know.
If y'all want to put the GoFundMe together to send me to Hoover, I'm in.
You can go to On Tap.
Just cover my expenses. Just cover my lodging. I'll pay for my On Tap myself.
Oh, okay.
Just pay for my lodging, and I'll go cover the tournament.
You'll go have something at J. Alexander's. Have a big time. It's fine.
Yeah, Matt. I sent it to Corey when remember the play was like 8 minutes left. Padula made the dive out of bounds, passed it to Morrell. Morrell passed it back to Padula, and he hits the 3.
Yeah.
I wrote my entire column built around that, and then all of a sudden Oklahoma's ahead. And I was like, you sons of bitches. That is the journalism gods going, it doesn't work like this.
I had to shoehorn one because I was sick. We'll come back after the break and I'll tell the story. It's going to take a second. So let's do this first. We'll tell you about G&M Pharmacy, 662-236-2222. They deliver locally in the Oxford area, and they offer MedSync. Free prescriptions the same day each month. They take care of you. They make it easy. One delivery, one stop in. You got everything you need. Also to transfer those medications. That's easy too. One phone call. They take care of the rest. Get away from the big box pharmacies. That's G&M in Oxford. Again, 662-236-2222.
Yeah, the interesting thing, we'll get to this in a minute too, but remind me on this. Some of these teams, Auburn, Tennessee, Florida, they
Might throw one in.
I mean, getting the kids to do it is one thing, but if you're Bruce, you're like, I don't really want to be here on Sunday if I don't have to be. We're brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. It's part of Virtuoso. It's a worldwide network of travel partners that allow him to supply his clients with added values, unique benefits simply not available to other travelers. John traveled the globe for 37 years before he got into the travel business, so he knows the extra attention needed to make a special trip one that creates a lifetime of unique memories. So get in touch with John. Give him some parameters. Give him a budget. He'll give you options that you probably won't find on your own. 901-494-3387 or jedwards@regencytravel.net. Get the beautiful, healthy smile you deserve at Corinth Dental. Dr. Bubba McQueen, Dr. Jenny Beth Hendrick are devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of your smile using conservative, state-of-the-art procedures that will result in a beautiful, long-lasting smile. From routine checkups to advanced treatment, including implants and Invisalign. I was trying to combine those two words. Corinth Dental is here to help you achieve your smile goals. Schedule your appointment today. Take the first step toward a better version of yourself. It's corinthdental.com. Speaking of beers, if I am fortunate enough to get a game at noon on Thursday, that 4:30 beer, I will look for Parish Brewing Company. Their simple goal is to create amazing craft brewed beer. I would argue that they've done it. You've got Dr. Juice. It's a highly crushable juice bomb, perfect for a 4:30 afternoon, 4:30 in the afternoon day in the spring in Nashville. Be perfect, Dr. Juice. Ghost in the Machine, always great, double IPA. You got Envy, which I think is a very underrated American pale ale. You've got Canebrake. I've seen that out in stores here in the last few days as well. All of that brought to you by Parish Brewing Company. Wherever you get your beer, look for Parish. You'll be glad you did.
Podcast also brought to you by NE Spark, the fastest, most reliable fiber internet option available. Whether you're streaming the Rebels or connecting with family and friends, they offer both residential and business packages with speeds of 2 gigabits. To learn more, register for service. That's nespark.com. NeSpark, get connected, stay local. Yeah, so I guess whatever game it was, all the Wright State games for baseball running together because they weren't very good outside of an arm on Friday. And Ole Miss had hit 2 home runs in the first inning, going up 4-0, and they were up 7-0. I think after 2 innings, thought, hey, run rule, just keep plugging. So I had written ahead and basically said Ole Miss hit 2 home runs in the first inning, and that was enough for the rest of the game. And all of a sudden, Wright State starts scoring, and it's like, God, if they get the 4th run, then that's no longer the case, and you did have to score more, and you've got to delete, and you got to go back.
Yeah.
And I got pretty angry at Ole Miss. They were up 9-0 and got thrown out at second base to be 1 hit away to kill the game in the 7th. And you're like, what are you doing? Like, yeah, I started screaming in the press box, like, no, go. We can go home right now.
Yep.
And then yesterday they got up like 4 runs at one point, and it's like Catch or somebody was going, "Hey, we only need 6 more." I'm like, "No, they're not going to get there. So let's just get outs. Like at this point, let's just root for outs. Let's get moving because none of the games were ever in doubt. Wright State was not very good, and they are picked to win the Horizon. Okay, go get them."
I like all 16 SEC teams in the Horizon. Thank you.
Yeah.
And SEC teams in the Horizon, they'll win it. League's over.
I don't think they're in the Horizon anymore, but has Gottlieb's team won a game yet? Or are they still 0 in basketball?
Yeah, they've won a couple of games, I think. Yeah.
Okay. I haven't really followed that story, but I was just kind of curious. Let's see. What was I talking about next? Oh, let's look at this real quick.
That's all the baseball we're talking?
I'll get to it tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah. No,
right.
Today's basketball day. It's fine.
Okay.
I'll get to it tomorrow. We'll do combine and baseball tomorrow, along with looking at Lenardi's bracket. Oh, real quick. I meant to lead off the show with this. No podcast on Wednesday.
Oh, yes.
Our host network is switching to a different server, and because of that, it would get lost if we publish. So we cannot publish any podcast for a 24-hour period that encompasses Wednesday. So just be aware that we will have whatever programming comes out on Tuesday, and there will be nothing else prior to our conversation with Jeffrey on Thursday morning when we get started for another day.
Right.
So that just heads up, one day we have no control. They tell us when we do this, and we would have probably tried to fight it had it been like tournament week, but I think they knew enough to not do that.
Yeah.
So
they were smart enough to do it this week.
Yeah, we're cool.
Yeah.
So no show on Wednesday because of that. It just is what it is. They are switching us. And I'm going to get this question. You guys have to do nothing. The RSS feeds will transfer. You'll find us in the same places. This is simply back end things from our perspective.
Triple Mass says Mizzou wouldn't win the Horizon. He says LOL. I actually think Missouri would win the Horizon.
Now they are bad.
They're bad. But
again, circle that one in week 2 of league play. Ole Miss might. I never say you need all 3. They might need all 3. You come back 2-1, and you might feel like you let one slip away, even on the road up there. I mean, we'll see how it goes, but they feel historically bad right now.
Yeah, I just haven't watched
in this league that's really good.
Yeah, I haven't watched anything yet. The only baseball that I've followed was the Texas A&M story a little bit over the weekend, where I caught myself.
They're scuffling,
and I caught myself agreeing with the kid.
Yeah.
Like, people chill, man.
Yeah.
Like, not to
March 3rd. And you just had a major injury.
And not to dovetail. Yeah, you lost the reigning SEC freshman of the year, who was a really good player. That's going to shake up a lot of things. But, man, people are crazy right now. People are so angry. Sports week, everyone's so angry. I mean, the Kansas thing. And then, Self puts out a thing basically going, hey, we get it, but
chill.
That doesn't mean you can just attack these people. And media outlets come back with, was that really necessary? Yes, it was necessary for him to defend his player.
Yeah.
Chill out. It's this, you know what it is? It's this, we pay them, by God. Okay, yeah, but they're still 20-year-old people. Stop.
Yeah, you're not changing the psyches.
Damn. It's like watching it, and you're just like, whoa. Go touch grass. Breathe air.
Ole Miss women knocking off LSU yesterday, 85-77 in Baton Rouge. We talked about it at the opening of the show. They had been kind of struggling in the second half for a lot of the SEC play, but they went big yesterday. They outscored LSU 32-20 in the third quarter and 22-13 in the fourth quarter yesterday. Their net is up to 13. As I mentioned a couple weeks ago, I was completely wrong. I thought the non-conference schedule would hurt them, but it is not at all. Net at 13. And they are the big mover in Charlie Cream's bracketology this morning on ESPN. They have moved from number 18 overall to number 14 overall, netting a 4 seed as of right now. Remember, women's basketball, top 4 seeds hosted home. So if you were a 4 seed, you would have the 4, the 5, the 12, and the 13 in your bracket in Oxford for the first 4 days or whatever the tournament, the first 2 playing days of the tournament, and that is where this is situated with Ole Miss having a 4. By the way, on the women's side, we talk about all the bids. On the women's side, the Big Ten is estimated 13 bids on the women's side for the women's tournament, and the SEC at 10. So Big Ten 13, SEC 10 in Charlie Cream's bracketology. He has Ole Miss sitting in Region 1, which is a Sweet 16 site of Birmingham. So that would be good for the Rebels should they have this bracket.
Be a good trip for you.
It would. I'd have a big time. Get to go to Hoover twice. Go over and have a big time. They have Ole Miss, the 4 seed, playing Florida Gulf Coast in the first round, and they have Ohio State and Fairfield, the other 2 teams that would be in Oxford for this pod or 4-team tournament. If you would. Now, it would not be the best matchup later in the Sweet 16. That is matched up with number 1 overall seed Texas.
Well, at some point, you got to beat people.
You do. There is no 1 seed where you go, hey, woo, let's go get them. I mean,
yeah. I mean, the path to the championship typically is not, hey, let's play the worst teams from the horizon. Let's do that. It doesn't work like that.
So
at some point, you got to play.
I kind of laughed yesterday because I think even the Athletic in its pulse this morning led with this. Everybody making a huge deal out of the coin flip yesterday with Greg Sankey determining the 1 seed in the women's SEC basketball tournament. And number 1, who gives a shit?
I mean, who cares?
I mean, seriously, who cares? And then number 2, I'm kind of glad because you know what? On something that's inconsequential, who cares if Carolina or Texas is the 1 or the 2? They're both 1 seeds in the big tournament.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. let's not have 14 tiebreakers that nobody can understand. Let's just make the third tiebreaker. We're just going to flip a coin because who gives a crap?
The best thing would have been to take
Awesome.
the kid on the end of the bench on both teams.
Free throw contest or something.
Oh, that would
One-on-one.
be awesome. A free throw contest. Or just let them do rock, paper, scissors.
Oh,
That'd be great, too.
play 21 pickup.
You could do that.
Okay.
But then someone has to travel to do that. I guess you'd have to
Put
travel.
them on video, Zoom, and rock, paper, scissors?
You'd have to make sure that you had it completely synced up.
Okay.
But again, who gives it?
No, I kind of enjoyed it. It was just, hey, we don't really know what's going on, so now let's just flip a coin. It's fine. Because I guess they both lost one game, but it was to each other or something. I don't even know. But none of the other tiebreakers fit, so they went, okay, here.
So there was outrage about that?
No, it was just about making a huge deal out of it. They were all like, wow, can you believe? It's like, who cares?
Yeah. Sometimes the people in our field, man, I don't get it.
Tublo asking if Ole Miss's game at Memphis is being played at AutoZone or at campus. I think it's on campus. I think Memphis has stopped playing the game at AutoZone. Frankly, to the point that I'm surprised Mike still plays it because I think he only
I am
for a
too,
long
a little
time.
bit.
Yeah,
honestly, that might be my excuse to quit.
Mike goes, you know what? I think we're okay. It's all right. I'll look in a second.
Because I get
but
playing
sure.
at AutoZone for the kids and whatnot. And
It's a good trip.
Yeah.
Memphis, you got a big alumni base up there.
but
It works.
But if I got to go over there, I'm like, nah,
I'm good. No.
well, we'll play another one at home.
I've kind of thought that they would just go. I thought at some point they would cut that and start playing UAB at the Barons Park.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of thought that would replace it, if I'm just being real. Here, real quick, let me look. They're in Pearl on March 18th against Southern Miss. It sounds like those games are going to survive because they've got that independent league team now playing in Pearl for baseball. So it looks like there's enough management structure of that event to have that be the case. It just says at Memphis, so that means it's just on campus. It's not at AutoZone.
Mm.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I'm a little surprised.
With all due respect to the University of Memphis, if I were Ole Miss, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But I'm on record here. I don't play Memphis in anything unless
it's a tournament setting that makes me do it.
I guess I do men's basketball if it's home and home.
Well, see, a lot of the problem is Memphis used to go, well, we're not going to do basketball unless you do football. And it's like, that's not even.
It's not even apples to oranges.
No.
Yeah, stop.
No.
You're comparing apples to parrots.
And Ole Miss said yes for a while.
Yeah. I wouldn't
have. No, it's fine. We're good. So anyway, Ole Miss, they're on the cusp. They probably don't need to lose their first game in Greensboro. Am I right there?
Greenville, South Carolina.
Okay. That's close. Probably don't need to lose your day one.
I put the bracket up. Where is it?
They're the 7, right?
I can't remember. Hold on. I posted the bracket yesterday.
Okay.
But I don't think I pinned it.
It's fine. I got it right here.
Okay.
Ole Miss is the 7 seed. They play at 5:00 on Thursday, March 6th, and they play the winner of Missouri and Mississippi State. Missouri and State is the 15-10 game in this. So what we are doing is seeing the first 16-team bracket play out that the men will do. So you get 15 versus 10 in the first round. That is Missouri, who Ole Miss escaped. Now, looking back, huge win after you got the LSU win on top of it. That would have been danger and moved you down 1 or 2 lines because Missouri's bad. But instead, probably play State in the first game that I think is a play-in game for a host. I think if you lose to State on that Thursday, you're not hosting. So I think Ole Miss has to win one more. And if you win that one, kind of like the men play in Auburn, Ole Miss would draw number 2 seed Texas in the next round. You tell the Longhorns congratulations, and you'll see them maybe in Birmingham in a few weeks.
Unless Texas goes, we really don't want to be here. Go for it.
Yeah. Yeah, y'all can play Kentucky.
Because, seriously, we joke about this. And then last year it happened. The Gators were playing really, really well going into that Sunday when they played Auburn in the SEC title game. And Micah Hangloten broke his leg.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That was devastating for them. Isn't it funny we don't do it with basketball the way we do baseball? Like if you go to Hoover and you've got a host site and a top 8 national seed wrapped
get out
up,
of there. What are you doing?
You're like, no, we're pitching the water boy.
Mm-hmm.
Getting out of here. No one thinks anything of it. And in basketball, you kind of can't do that because people think too much of it, I guess. I don't know. I mean, if in all
It's
seriousness,
just because it's so obvious you have to throw it. Versus in baseball, I can just pitch the wrong people and let them get hit.
well,
kind of
like
get out of there.
if you're Auburn, I mean, I guess you could sit Janai Broom, and then people know you're
Load
throwing
management.
the game. Yeah, the NBA doesn't do that in the playoffs.
Yeah, I know.
And if you play him, he's going to play hard.
I thought,
but like the whole time, if I'm Bruce, right, and I've got this team that is a 1 seed.
yeah.
No matter what we do in Nashville, we are a 1 seed. God, I'm a nervous wreck, man. I know you can't live like that, but every time Janai Broom leaves the court to jump for a ball, I'm like, oh God, please. Because I can't fall in Nashville.
Yeah.
The only thing that can happen to me in Nashville is bad. I guess I get to win a tournament. Okay.
But you're the 1 overall no matter what.
But that's not the tournament I'm there to win.
No.
I want to win the one that ends in 3
And I've
weeks.
already got a ring. I won the regular season. Either way, what's going on?
Boy. And I know it doesn't work like that. I get it.
You're aware of how little NBA I follow or anything, and I just caught a clip of this last night. But I thought Steve Kerr was pretty interesting last night, just talking about rest for Curry inside games and how their margins at that level of whether a guy plays 33 minutes versus 36 minutes is a big deal, and how he was trying to win the game because they didn't want to fall too much. They saw a little opportunity, so they pushed him, but he was almost kind of mad at himself that he played him 36, and he sort of had an internal debate with the media while he was talking about what he should have done or not should have done at that point, because they're in the midst of 3 and 4 days, and he was reaching a little bit as they were doing it.
I mean, as you know, I watch a lot of NBA, and you can tell right now if this was a Major League Baseball season, this is the middle of August.
Mm-hmm.
These are dog days. Guys are a little tired. Their bodies are a little beat up. The schedules feels kind of hurried. A lot of games, a lot of back-to-backs.
Yeah, they lost to Philly. They have 1 day off, and then they have a back-to-back at Charlotte and at New York. And he was kind of like,
yeah.
So,
Steph dunked on Saturday or Friday?
First dunk in 6 years, and he said it would be the last one he ever did, that it took all he had to get up. He's been dealing with a lot of knee tendonitis this season. So, yeah. All right, we'll come back, hit a few extra things in a second. First, the Declaration of Independence Center for the Study of American Freedom. It's located on the Ole Miss campus, and they aim to explore and examine the fundamental and founding principles of the United States of America. They offer an academic minor in freedom studies and scholarship opportunities for Ole Miss students that bring along lots of networking potential. To learn more, contact Stephen Skoltedi or Rankin Shirley. Freedom at olemiss.edu or visit independence.olemiss.edu.
We're brought to you by Easy Hemp Co. Easy is a hemp-infused sparkling water. It's guilt-free alcohol alternative. It's a natural way to relax and unwind. It's all natural, made with real fruit, no added sugar, low-calorie, gluten-free. 1 12-ounce can of Easy has 3 milligrams of THC. With Easy, it's easy to avoid the gummy scare and control your experience. So change the can, not the ritual. It's easy. Visit easyhempco.com to view the Easy Finder to find Easy near you. Easy is Farm Bill compliant with hemp derived from THC CBD extracts. It's for people 21 and older. Enjoy responsibly. We'll have a mailbag to you on Wednesday. It's brought to you by Art Hayes of Sotheby's International Realty. Are you thinking of making a move, I should say? Put the power of Sotheby's to work for you. As a licensed agent with Sotheby's and a supporter of all things Ole Miss, Art can help you buy or sell in your hometown or anywhere in the world at no charge to you. Seriously. So call and ask Art how. 612-805-5929 or email art at arthur.hayes@lakesmn.com.
Podcast brought to you by the Men's Clinic. That's in Madison and Brandon. Are you experiencing low energy levels, no motivation, decrease in muscularity, little increased belly fat, and more? They can help you. Make an appointment today. It's themanthing.com. Their mission is simple. They want to make sure the patients remain as healthy and as strong as possible throughout the aging process. They do this by optimizing testosterone, improving sleep, reducing inflammation, treating insulin resistance, and facilitating a healthy gut microbiome. Again, Madison and Brandon, that's 601-607-7869 or themanthing.com. So I'm going to run through this real quick. I saw this morning, and it's one of those slippery slope deals. I agree with the student and think she should win this, but we talk a lot about the nuclear option of all these portal and eligibility things that are going on is a mid-season transfer eligibility immediately, where a player could be at one school, leave in the middle of the season, and play it somewhere else. That would be your worst case scenario.
Okay.
And no one necessarily thinks this is going to happen from this, but it's the first time where a sport has a specific thing that makes it at least feasible to give a waiver. Now, she has been denied by the NCAA, what I'm going to read in a second.
Okay.
But it's the first one where I'm reading and going, no, she should be allowed eligibility here. And me saying that at least brings a thing. So I'm reading here from D1 Ticker, the newsletter this morning.
Okay.
And it's a little long, but hang with me, and I'll probably skip some paragraphs. It says the NCAA eligibility rules may be in, quote, serious legal trouble, according to Boise State professor Sam Elrick, who cites the rash of recent lawsuits, including one filed by current USF, South Florida, former Oklahoma women's golfer Holly McClain.
Okay.
The case has a positive...
Holly McClain, wasn't Holly McClain in Die Hard?
Was that her name?
Wasn't his wife's name Holly?
I don't know. Now we need to see. Hold on, and then I'll get back to.
Sorry, I'm in the mood to absolutely disrupt everything. I apologize. I'm not trying to be that way. I'm just sort of scattered.
I think you're right.
He was just trying to get to Holly. I want to say it was Holly McClain. Yeah, Matt says I'm right.
Yeah, that's correct.
That?
Yeah,
right. There you go.
Think he's named after that? Probably not.
It'd be funny, but probably not.
Okay. So
Holly McClain. Go ahead.
All right. No,
Sorry.
we're good.
Former golfer, Oklahoma USF.
Yep. Says, quote, positively awful fact pattern for the NCAA. A sympathetic plaintiff who has been hurt entirely by the NCAA's own lack of foresight and proactivity, which is true, and terrifyingly for the NCAA. McClain's lawsuit could lead to massive ripple effects, given that she is challenging a rule most sacred to any sports league's governance, the competition and year of transfer rule. At the heart of the matter is the House settlement's new roster limits. She notes the roster limits were the reason Oklahoma informed her and others in November 2024 they would lose their scholarships and roster spots after 2025 spring semester.
Okay.
She proactively transferred to USF to make sure she had a spot to move.
Okay.
However, Elrick points out that 1 month before OU cut her, McClain had participated in the OU Schooner Fall Classic, and the NCAA said that her play in that tournament
started her academic year.
Counted as participation for OU in the 24-25 school year, and as such, she cannot compete for USF in the spring 2025 semester. USF applied for waivers on the grounds that her transfer was beyond her control and knowledge when she played for OU. It was encouraged and mandated by OU. The NCAA denied the waiver as well as a subsequent appeal. She's therefore sued, arguing that her inability to compete costs her potential NIL opportunities.
Yeah.
And while I'm fairly confident that even if she wins, the judge won't throw out the entire competition and year transfer rule, a McClain victory would certainly put some cracks in it. Enough to allow mid-season transfers across the country? Probably not. But given that McClain is almost certainly not the only athlete in this situation, it's a possibility that can't be ruled out. That's a very precise case.
That's very and well written. Goodness, in journalism today, that's an A.
A lot of details in that and kept us on brand.
Have you read some of the sites?
Yeah.
Shut up, Neal. Stop.
That's
all right. Well, I'm Team Holly here.
No. Completely on.
Because she did the right thing. I mean, Oklahoma came and told her, hey, look,
you're out at the end of the fall.
These roster limits are in. You're out. So
she went ahead and found a spot because she might not have gotten one.
So she went
later.
shopping and they offered her a job and she took the job because, okay, but we need you to start now. And so she did.
Yeah.
She got fired from the old job and was told, hey, this job ends
in a few months.
In a few months.
Yeah.
And so she went, well, you know what? I'm not wired this way. I'm going to go ahead. And she found another job. She took the job. And now they're saying, well, you can't get paid in that job because of whoa. I'm for her. But Ulrich or whoever wrote that, again, very, very well written. It does put some cracks in it.
Their argument in court would be that she was not forced to leave until after the spring, and that is the eligibility.
Yeah.
That is the eligibility window that she is not eligible somewhere else.
That Oklahoma was going to pay her
going to honor her through May.
Yeah.
But now her options for leaving would have been much lower at that point.
No, I'm still team.
I'm Team Holly.
I'm Team Holly all the way. I do wonder. Like, boy, I do wonder. I've told you before. I think the day comes, and I think that's chaos. Can you imagine a kid starts the season at Ole Miss, ends the season playing for Texas?
I know.
Plays
in basketball, transfers over Christmas. So they play non-con ball at Texas and then transfer to Alabama for the conference season.
Or starts the season someplace that's on the quarter season in football and then goes to the semester. Yeah, Oregon, Louisiana Tech.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't Auburn in the quarter?
I don't know.
Maybe not.
So last few minutes
I guess
here.
not. I'm confusing them with somebody.
I'm getting away from sports for a second because I found this not surprising. We've been talking about this for a while. I did not watch any Oscars last night.
No.
I assume you did not either.
No, I watched Thunder. Who would they play? Spurs.
I don't know that I even turned the TV on last night, honestly.
Stephen Castle, by the way, the rookie for the Spurs. The damn Spurs, man. How everything works out for them is beyond me.
They're the 90s Cardinals right now, where it's just like
and Wemby's out, which is good for them because it means that they're losing. Young guys are getting time, and they're going to end up getting flagged. They're going to be a bitch. I'm just telling you. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. So
I did it again.
There were 10 movies out for Best Picture last night. And look, it's not that long ago that I would make a point to go see all of them. Jeffrey and I used to do it. We'd go to the theater in the middle of the afternoon and catch Oscar movies and follow it pretty religiously. And I had watched one and heard of another last night.
Okay.
And I'm not in that world, but I do listen to the Big Picture podcast a good bit. Like, I'm not completely foreign from it. And I had seen Wicked because of my kid, and it's my favorite musical. And I had heard of Conclave, and that was it. That's all I got.
Conclave's the one about the Pope?
Yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
Okay.
So,
by the way, that's a weird story going on with the Pope right now.
It is. Yeah, I was looking at that last night. But here's where and I'm calling it a disconnect because the Academy can do whatever the hell it wants. I don't care. So I'm not offended. I just found this interesting.
These people are heroes, man. Be careful.
Okay. I don't care what you do. Go give your awards to whomever you would like to give your awards to. But
these are some virtuous people.
They are, very much so. Honora last night won everything. Won Big Picture, all that kind of stuff. I mean, Best Picture, all that stuff. Okay. I have no idea what Honora is about.
I was about to ask.
No clue.
Because I've never heard of it.
So here's how Honora did.
Mm-hmm.
In the box office, it won 15.6. I'm sorry, it earned 15.6 million domestic and only 38 million globally. Now, it was a financial success because it only had a budget of $6 million. But the Best Picture winner, 15 million domestic, which is nothing. Means it didn't do crap in the box office.
All right, so Honora.
Yes.
This is the movie about the
I don't know what it's about.
A young escort from Brooklyn meets and impulsively marries the son of a Russian oligarch. Is that right?
I don't know. Sure.
Once the news reaches Russia, her fairy tale is threatened as her parents set out for New York to get the marriage annulled.
Okay. Sure. I'll take your word for it. You could have said it's about aliens or spaceships or that, and I would have said okay.
I'd be more interested. Honora, let's see. Here's the Wikipedia version. Honora is I wonder, is this the same one? People in the stream, tell me if I'm wrong so I don't waste my time. Is a 2024 American romantic comedy drama, film written, directed, produced, and edited by Sean Baker. It stars Mikey Madison as Honora Makieva, a young stripper who impulsively marries the son of a Russian oligarch.
Yeah, that's right. That's correct. Yeah, that's it.
Played by Mark Eidelstein.
That's correct.
The supporting cast includes Yura Borisov. Doesn't matter. The film premiered at the 77th Cannes Film Festival. Blah blah blah. Received numerous accolades, live awards. Blah blah blah. The plot: Honora is a 23-year-old stripper living in Brighton Beach, a Russian-American neighborhood in Brooklyn. Her boss introduces her to Ivan Zakharov, the young son of the Russian oligarch Nikolai Zakharov, who requests someone fluent in Russian. Although Vanya is in the United States to study, he spends most of his time partying and playing video games in his family's Brooklyn mansion.
Okay.
Blah, blah, blah.
Okay. It was a movie that wins all these stuff last night that made 15 million domestic and hardly anyone had ever damn heard of. Okay.
Okay.
Here is the note. And this
does sound interesting.
Sure. And it might be great. That's not the point. It's the disconnect between the public and the academy here, because here's what I was talking about. And this is the podcast I listen to a lot. Sean Fennessy, co-host of the Big Picture podcast. I actually was listening to the episode. He mentioned this. He said that from 97 to 2004, okay? You with me?
Yeah.
97 to 2004, every Best Picture winner grossed at least $100 million. Okay? Domestic.
Okay.
97 to 04. It had to be a popular movie that hit $100 million.
Yep.
In the 20 years since then, it's only happened 5 times.
Well, it's because
I know.
People don't really understand art, you see. You have to understand that commoners can't understand fine art. They're simple people. They're peasants, if you will. And they don't understand the complexity of modern cinema. You know, they're people from like Amory. They can't really understand, or Ruston, right? They can't really understand subtlety and nuance and storytelling. They don't know a good movie when they see it. They should stop and listen to the Academy, and the Academy will tell them what is great.
So I just found that note fascinating as we get to the end of the show today. We've made it, by the way. Daylight savings time is this weekend, so no, you get the later sunsets here.
Where do you stand
up
on daylight savings time?
I want as late at night, sunny as I can get. Yep, no, completely. I get depressed at the 5 p.m. darkness. It affects my mood.
I'm for just staying on standard time. You add a minute every day. Like it's getting lighter every day. Just let it be. We shouldn't have to leap forward and fall back. And
I do
confusing.
Understand that if you went to nonstop daylight savings, the mornings are so dark,
right?
That you would that there is a negative to that.
But nonstop standard, there's really no negative. You keep rhythms.
The latest we get in the summer is like 7:15, I guess, something like that. Yeah,
I think it'd be more like 7:30, but still. I mean,
that's pretty good.
You get rhythms.
Yeah.
And you hear what you wouldn't have the 4:50 darkness.
Right. Yeah. So all right, we will wrap there. Be back with you tomorrow. Again, baseball, some combine stuff. We'll talk Jackson Dart, and then we'll hit whatever else. We got a bracketology coming, or multiple bracketologies coming tomorrow, and then Ole Miss baseball. One quick note here. I've got some baseball notes up on the site. They're supposed to play Southeastern Louisiana tomorrow night. They're supposed to play Murray State on Wednesday. The rain is expected in town tomorrow. That probably will have an impact on this game if the forecasts are correct. The scuttlebutt that has not been announced anywhere publicly, but people are talking kind of behind scenes. The possibility is they will play a doubleheader against Murray State on Wednesday to make that game up. Murray State has already had a rain out, apparently. So Southern Louisiana is in peril, but they might make that up with 2 against Murray and the Racers. And one of the best college baseball logos, though, in the country. They have like a horseshoe with a jockey through it. Murray State does. Oh. It's a really good logo. So
good for them.
Yeah, that's coming up for the weekend. So we'll hit on those things and more. Take care. Have a good day. Talk to you soon.